Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for this webinar. This is the 6th edition of the Webinar, the webinar organized by the Monaco Economic Board. This one is going to be very special for me because it's going to be dedicated to one of the most important parts of the economy of the Principality of Monaco, historically and still actually, this is the tourism industry. To speak about it, we have gathered a number of experts who are going to speak about what is a sector which is really in crisis, which is tourism, of course, due to the COVID crisis. And we are going to speak about present and the future, two things that could be of interest for everybody. So first, before beginning, I want to say a warm hello and a warm good morning to the people who watch us from America, from the United States, especially our consuls who are gathered in front of their computer, I think, and who are watching us. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate also the representative office of the Principality of Monaco in New York. So hello everybody, and I hope you will enjoy this webinar. This webinar is going to be conducted in a close partnership with the Embassy of Monaco in Washington. For that, we will have, I think, the person who is the best expert of tourism, and especially of the tourism of the Principality of Monaco in the United States and maybe abroad in general. I want to speak about Her Excellency, Mrs. Maggie Macario. Maggie, thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you very much, Guillaume. It's a pleasure for me to be here, and thank you for inviting our embassy to collaborate in this webinar this afternoon. Since I am your opening act, what I like to do is really give a quick overview of the global perspective of travel and tourism following the pandemic. I've spent a portion of my life in the professional life in the hospitality industry, and especially promoting tourism and travel to the Principality of Monaco for North America. And I know that when you operate in the travel and tourism industry, you are constantly living on the edge. And I think most of our panelists will agree with me today. There is really an ongoing changes and challenges that are constant in the travel and tourism industry. And both cannot be separated from the world context in which they operate, be that context a political state of war, or be a global financial crisis, or be a senseless act of terrorism, or health issue. Anything that happens in the world today is always touching every aspect of tourism. So most of the time, these challenges are being geographically contained, but came 2020 and the COVID-19, and it didn't take too much for the whole world to shut down. So just to remind that in June, 156 governments have completely closed their borders to international tourism. And the revised OECD countries and the revised OECD statistics are already pointing out to the fact that there will be a 60% loss in international tourism in 2020, and maybe 80% if there is no recovery by late December. So certainly COVID-19 has triggered many challenges in many sectors of various industries, but the travel and tourism industry has been the one that's been hit the most. Tourism is certainly a labor intensive sector, and it is very hard even to imagine that the commercial aviation this year will register a loss of $84 billion because of the pandemic. So many countries are now entering a new phase in fighting the virus, while at the same time managing the reopening of the tourism economy. So recovery is now expected to start later and be slower than previously foreseen, making it difficult to market travel when the virus spread and the cause of the pandemic worldwide have not yet been accounted for. In fact, just this morning, there was just announcing that over 60 million people in India may have contracted the virus, and they're not recorded yet. So international tourism within specific geographic regions, such as the European Union, is expected to rebound first, with luxury destinations probably on top of the list. Domestic tourism, which account for 75% of the tourism economy in the OECD countries, is expected to recover also more quickly. So travel will return, but the recovery will likely take longer than any other industry. And it will vary across segments. For instance, business and leisure travel will return at different paces, as well as will domestic and international travel. But what is certain is that there will be a very, we will record, what is certain is that the next normal will be marketed by structural shift, especially around consumer expectations for hygiene and for flexibility. Cleanliness and sanitizations will become the norm. And I think that much like air travel changed after 9/11 with security screening, so will COVID-19 change our demands for a safe and clean travel experience. So I think I'm done with my time now. So I just would like, I'm looking forward to hearing our panel of experts today, this afternoon, and hearing what they have to say about the expectations and the updates of the tourism and travel industry for the Principality of Monaco. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Excellency. So thank you to Mrs. Maggie Macario, who is also the president of the Foundation Princess Charlene in the US and the vice president of the Foundation Prince Albert II in the US also. Thank you very much. I think that we've got the frame. Now I'm going to introduce the panel of experts who will answer to these questions. First, I would like to introduce Mr. Guy Antognelli, General Manager of the Monaco Government Tourist and Convention Authority. After Master 2 in Financial Engineering, Mr. Guy Antognelli worked for several years in private banking and insurances. He joined the Monaco Government Tourist Authority in 2011 and was appointed as General Manager in 2019. Thank you, Guy, for being with us.
Thank you, Guillaume. Hello, everybody.
We also have Mr. Frédéric Darnet. Frédéric Darnet, General Manager of the Hôtel Monte-Carlo Bay. After having obtained an MBA in Hotel Management and Finance from the Glion Institute in Switzerland, Frédéric Darnet continued to study marketing and management at the prestigious Cornell University in the US. He joined the Monte-Carlo Société des Bains de Mer group in 2006 by taking over the management of the Termes Marins de Monte-Carlo. He became General Manager of the Monte-Carlo Bay Hotel in 2018 and was awarded the prestigious Monaco Trophée de l'Économie as Manager of the Year in 2019. Thank you very much for joining us, Frédéric.
Thank you, Guillaume. Hello to everybody, Your Excellency.
We have also asked to a specialist of luxury, a well-renowned specialist of luxury in the hotel industry to join us. I mean Mr. Serge Ethuin, who is the General Manager of the Hotel Métropole Monte-Carlo. Highly specialized in luxury, his career has led him to direct some of the most prestigious hotels in the world. He spent 30 years in the Hilton Group, receiving the first mandate as General Manager at Hilton Madagascar, before taking control for 6 years at the Rome Cavalieri. His last stop before reaching the Hotel Métropole has been nothing less than the Royal Monceau Raffles in Paris. Thank you very much for being here, Serge.
Thank you very much, Guillaume. Good afternoon, good morning to everyone. It's a pleasure to be joining you this afternoon.
We also have in our panel of specialists, Mr. Axel Hoppenot, Executive Vice President, Sales and Marketing for Société des Bains de Mer, Monte-Carlo. Axel Hoppenot heads up Strategic Marketing and Communication and is a member of the Executive Committee of Monte-Carlo Société des Bains de Mer, the listed company that runs the most valuable touristic assets of the Principality of Monaco, and more generally, invented and leverages the legendary Monte-Carlo brand. Axel Hoppenot previously held senior management, sales and marketing positions in major global or international companies such as Accor, DHL, or American Express. Thank you very much, Axel, for being with us.
Thank you, Guillaume. Hello, everyone.
Last but not least, we'll have with us Mr. Maurizio Spinetta. Mr. Maurizio Spinetta did his studies in Monaco. After he started his career in the family food business, he created an IT and multimedia company. He's now the CEO and founder of Jet Travel Monaco, one of the best and the biggest travel agencies in Monaco. He's a very well-known professional when it comes to travel in general, to travel business. His philosophy and passion are to discover the world, So he's extremely qualified to be with us today. Hello, Maurizio.
Hello, Guillaume. Hello, everybody.
Thank you very much for being here, all of you. So how does it work, that webinar? That webinar works in a very simple way. First, we collect all the questions from our members. I remind you that we have 555 members in Monaco, which are members of the web of enterprises, the first web of companies in Monaco. And they ask us questions about the industry they are worried about. And in that case, it's tourism. So Justin Hyman, who is my deputy, is a general manager, deputy general manager at Monaco Economic Board, and myself will have to ask some questions to these gentlemen, and I hope they will answer us. At any time, Mrs. Maggie Macayo, Her Excellency, has the choice to interrupt us and ask a question or just say the compliment to what has been said. She will interfere in the right way, of course. She will intervene at any moment she wants. Of course, Your Excellency, please feel free to do that. We'll be very honored to have questions from you. But first, I think that Justin is going to ask some questions. Justin, please.
Many thanks, Guillaume, and hello to everyone. Very excited about this panel of experts. Let's kick off the question with the first one, perhaps to Serge and then Frédéric. As the high season is now drawing to a close, what were your results? Could we say that in the end, they were slightly better than expected? Also, maybe just have your view on this month of September. Thank you very much. First to Serge.
Thank you very much, Justin. Well, with no surprise, it's been a very difficult and challenging summer, as you might imagine. Probably the worst in the history of the hotel and possibly the destination. But, and there is a positive but, is that it's been better than expected indeed. Possibly and surely thanks to the regional and proximity markets who have supported us and the destination quite strongly. As far as we are concerned, personally, the Métropole ran about 40% occupancy during summer, between July and August, which is 50% behind last year. So not good news, but it's already 50% of what we did last year. I think many destinations didn't have those kind of results. So overall, a mixed conclusion, but better than expected indeed.
And for September, can you give us maybe a word?
September is more difficult. As you know, there are a lot of events which are happening into the destination. Unfortunately, for obvious reasons, most of these events have been cancelled. So there is really a strong drop which is observed for September. And if you want a few figures as well, from the range of the 40%, we're going down to the range of 20% occupancy. But an important element to conclude is that we made a point of keeping our pricing strategy, which is extremely important for us and for the destination. And we were quite good in keeping our average daily rate at the Métropole and in the destination.
Thank you very much, Serge. Frédéric, are you on the same wavelength?
Yes, a little like Serge. The summer season was marked by a strong growth of the French clientele domestic market, representing 60% of the customer mix against 20% on comparable years. In terms of business volume, we are not comparable on sales figure, and we are missing the international clientele, all the borders closed from Middle East or Eastern countries, as well the North American market. These being leading buyers not traveling solely, such as a delegation. So this creates a real lake in our usual activity. We were able to surpass the forecast, and that's a good point, that we had set ourselves thanks to a very strong commercial politics and a very rigorous management. But without, like Serge said, without affecting the price, the quality of the product, which was a strategic error in a short or medium terms, we think. For the month of September, like we asked to Serge, and beyond, there is a major market we have to work on, which is the convention market. This year, the segment is at standstill. It represents more than 60% of our occupancy for the winter. We are focused on attractiveness programs for the local and peripheral markets for long weekends, because we have the culture, we have theater, we have many things in Monaco, we have to use it. And for the winter will be very complicated, with some requests strengthening in the first quarter of 2021, together with postponement of congresses at the beginning of the year. But all that, this remains closely linked to the evolution of global health situation.
Thank you very much, Frédéric.
You're welcome, Justin.
Thank you very much, Frédéric. Now I've got a question for Guy Antognelli, a question that may be not so obvious. In fact, as it's not a total catastrophe, we'll say this summer, what were the nationalities present on the Principality of Monaco?
In fact, Guillaume, without any surprise, Europeans were at top of the ranking, if not saying a huge majority of it. As Frédéric said, the biggest number were coming from France, but also from Swiss and Italy. But we saw an increase as well in Belgium, Netherlands, and the German market. So the people able to come to Monaco by car were the people present really in the Principality.
Thank you
Very much.
Thank you, Guy. If I may also ask you a question, as most people know, business tourism is very important to Monaco and represents over a quarter of the tourism sector, and also contributes, as was just discussed, to very good occupancy figures during the middle and lower seasons. How was the impact of business tourism during the summer, and more importantly, in the coming month?
In fact, in summer, we don't have a lot of business tourism. We have many in June. They were completely canceled, as well in March, April, and May. But we were able to postpone them at the end of the year. The situation now is they are already canceling what is coming in the months of September till December. So that means at the moment, we are waiting for the first big congress to occur since the lockdown. It will be les Assises de la Sécurité from 14 to 17 of October. And the government is working at the moment with them to help them to fix the event in Monaco.
Thank you very much. How many people are expected for this event?
Between 1,600 to 2,000.
So a good
Many
event.
people.
Perfect. Axel, perhaps for the Société de Bains, could you also concur on this business tourism aspect?
Yes, so just for a same kind of situation, actually the business tourism represents 25% of the revenues on a yearly basis for the hotels. And currently, so far, we are down 73% since the beginning of the year, which is a very bad situation, obviously. We started by observing that a number of companies were able to reposition the events on Q4. And obviously, our scenario was that the business would pick up again from September and probably go back to normal by March. Actually, we see currently in all markets that countries are going towards more lockdowns or more sanitary measures, which are going to make it even more complicated. Which means that for the first part of the year, we probably were around 50% too of the usual results for months like August. And now we see that instead of having this progression of the business for the rest of the year, we'll have a decrease instead. The point is also that the individuals represent 75% of this business, but for those ones as well, they book later than usual. Usually it's in the past, probably the last 15 days that we see the pickup that usually occurred before that 1 month or 2 months prior to that. However, we don't want to look at the situation from the bench, and we're very active currently by playing with our cards. I mean that we have already developed a number of augmented reality visits of the sites, for instance, in order to prepare the future. We've also understood the needs of our clients that will go more and more for virtual events, and they want hybrid solutions. And we've been working on that and prepared specific solutions for them. And we believe that this is going to help as well and offer new opportunities to develop the markets. And also the celebrations market is going to grow again. And we believe that many events have been postponed, like weddings, for instance. And we see a number of requests coming for June, let's say April to July next year. And that's also very encouraging. Last point would be that we see also, interestingly enough, a number of events that are starting to be booked for later than 2021, especially for 2023. I believe that the incentive market is not going to be very active, obviously, in the current, in the next term or so, but probably the medium term, all these companies want to be back on track and will be happy to be there to help them with their offerings.
Thank you, Axel.
Thank you very much, Axel. And now this is time for divination. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to ask something. What do you think about 2021? What do you think 2021 is going to look? Basically, what ripple effect will occur in Monaco if the COVID situation remains the same through 2021? Maybe we'll begin for that with Serge Ethuin. Please, Serge.
Thank you very much for asking me that very first question about the future, which is really appreciated. It's very much, more seriously, it's very much a moving target. We are observing, of course, what's going to happen is in terms of travel bans, in terms of quarantines, of course, in terms of reconfinement, possibly as well. We hear a lot about that in some of our source market. What we know, and of course, again, we'll see what's going to happen with the vaccine. What we know for sure is that our historical markets, and I'm talking about the US, I'm talking about Middle East, I'm talking about Russia, I'm talking potentially about UK as well. So, I mean, all these very strong original source of business possibly will not be there part of the year. So as we have all started, we are continuously focusing on trying to develop all the proximity market indeed, but as well certain niche market for which we did not possibly invest time in the past. I'm thinking about Austria, for example, and Guy was very rightly mentioning that we saw a lot of customers were actually coming driving to the destination. And I think this is as well something we're looking at extremely seriously. And as well, the partnership. You know, when you have those markets who are not responding as usual, I believe the partners of the hotel industry are switching as well. We are now partnering regularly with private jet companies, for example, as a lot of companies could come, or a lot of guests could come through private jet flights. So we are actually readjusting our strategy for 2021. We don't expect 2021, Guillaume, to be a normal year. We don't expect a full recovery before end of the year and early 22. That's the reason why as well we've taken certain strategic decisions at the Métropole to maybe start some anticipated refurbishment, which is something else, but that contributes as well to enhance the product within the destination. And our focus has been and will be quality and excellence. This is fundamental because for the amount of customer who still give us the courtesy to visit the destination, we owe them an amazing emotional experience. And this is the focus of our hotel for 2021.
Thank you very much, Serge. High-end luxury, we expected that. And well, you give us that, definitely. Let's go still to luxury, but not to that high-end. Maybe we are going to ask another specialist, and it's part of tourism in Monaco. But what does Frédéric Darnet think about situation in 2021?
I share the opinion of Serge. Okay, we are the same way. The forecast for 2021 is still marked by the health crisis, we think. Okay, it's not finished at the end of the year. There is a request for conditions because Monaco represents a destination of choice on the organization of congresses. But like Guy and you talk, we are also linked with to the air transport industry, which suffered a sharp decline. And we believe in the group, okay, because we spoke together, we believe that we'll not be able to find a volume of business comparable to the previous years before 2023. So the matter is now how developing hybrid offerings, continually reinventing ourselves and surprising our customer. We have to manage not day by day, but far away, and to work that the business that we had this summer, and to find a new solution to create from Europe, I said, give from Switzerland, from Germany, even from UK, that they come in Principality. But I think 2021 will be harder also.
Thank you very much, Frédéric. I would like to speak, we spoke about the private jet, and I would like to ask to Maurizio Spinetta, the owner of Jet Travel, what do they think about the way can 2021 look?
It'd be really, I say the same things, it will be quite hard. We are no really good vision concerning the travel in next month or the next year, because country of destination will be the big problem, because the rules are not really clear. You know, every country now put quarantine or ask for PCR test for 72 hours before the departure, and this sometimes is difficult to have it. And so we really need that the COVID stop to see a normal situation for traveling.
Thank you, Maurizio. Could we also ask you what is happening with travel agencies in the recent month, and the impact, which was very significant in the last month here as well?
Yeah, when the COVID arrived, the travel agencies was very penalized. In March, we have to close immediately, and so we have to reorganize our working with the new tools and smart working. Our first priority was to repatriate all our clients that was around the world. Second, we have to cancel and to postpone all the bookings that our clients made yet for the summer. Now we are standstill. We are waiting, you know, because to a lack of a clear vision of the destination. Since May, we open again the travel agency to give help and information and to serve our clients. But unfortunately, just with only one person. And I keep 11 employed at home because the market was not there. I find that the impact in Monaco for leisure and business travel will be very hard in this moment, because we feel that our clients that stay in Monaco or work in Monaco, they would like to move or to travel. But the situation is really very hard. Most of the countries in the world are closed. And so we just say to the clients, wait.
Thank you, Maurizio. Could you also perhaps let us know more about the cruising as well, if that has had an impact?
The cruise, at the moment, they are quite completely stopped. MSC Cruises started with one ship in 1st of August with a lot of control. Everybody is tested before to go in the ship, and all excursion is made by the cruise ship. So there is no contact with a foreign person when they arrive in a city or in a port. And that the American companies see a normal situation after March 2021. So it will be quite long to arrive at a normal situation.
Thank you very much, Maurizio. As you have the microphone, I will ask you also, which destination have been popular with Monégasque customers this summer and autumn winter?
The only solution that you told also before, it was France, or it was a destination near Monaco that the people could go by car. So it's very strange, but what we sold a lot is rental villas in Saint-Tropez, or it was in Corsica. And we found that people ask more private jets or rent a villa instead to go in a hotel. Fortunately, we sold also Greece, and the fabulous Polynesia. To go in Polynesia is quite easy. There is a direct flight. There is flight going to Vancouver because it's not possible to pass through Los Angeles. So there is flight by Air France, and we saw really a lot of Polynesia all the summer and the next weeks departure. Now,
thank you very much.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, no, please, Maurizio, sorry, please finish.
No. I say that now the big problem that we have in this moment, like I told before, is really to know how will be the rules of each country destination and also the airline companies, because there is a few flights even from Nice, so only one terminal is open. And airlines sometimes also they cancel the flights. So we are suggest sometimes to the clients to think about to travel because it's quite hard.
Thank you very much, Maurizio.
You're welcome.
Now coming back to the hoteliers, perhaps. In addition to the Monaco Safe label that was launched this summer, what are some of the most interesting and creative initiatives that the Monaco government has launched in the last few months? Also, which areas do you believe are where there is room for improvement? This question, first of all, perhaps to Serge and then to Frédéric.
Thank you, Justin. First of all, I wanted to recognize the extraordinary work which has been done by the authorities to create that Monaco Safe label, which was, I think, fundamental to ensure that we gain or regain the trust in the destination. We had it in terms of security, of course, but safety became, of course, the main issue and the main concern for all travelers. Really an extraordinary work has been done in that area. With no surprise, what the Métropole tried to do is to translate those protocols into things which would create additional experience. So I came with a couple of things, but for example, rather than putting a big gel component on the desk, so we're giving a very nice safe stay. We're giving a gel which looks more like a perfume than anything else. So what I'm trying is we're taking that element very seriously, but I think it's our role in the industry as well to try to translate that into experience. Another element which we have developed and which will stay, rather than putting, which is right as well to do, but to putting plexi barriers everywhere, which stops a little bit the interaction between a customer and the team member. We've done private check-ins for every single customer. So it was a face-to-face, both people were masked, so sanitary measures have been respected, but we try to create an experience rather than that issue to become even more of a concern when a customer checks in into the hotel. So those are elements where we have built on the Monaco Safe label, which is an amazing work, and we try to translate that into a sort of, maybe not a luxury experience, but an experience, an additional experience in the hotel when you arrive.
Thank you, Serge. What about for you, Frédéric?
So we have also in the rooms individual gel, mask and everything, because we have to keep our empathy of the Monte-Carlo Bay. But the Monaco Safe label already provide us very serious model of and the implementation of health protocols. But in our business, in our trend, okay, we have very strict protocols already with people safety, with food, cleaning protocol, everything. But we work like Serge on productive improvement. We don't. It's not a border between us and the COVID and our guests. Okay, we are together. We work together. We work differently. We are one-to-one in the check-in. It's not like before, and we take in charge for each customer. It's like a VIP. All our customers are VIP. Each individual is in charge for everybody.
Thank you very much, Frédéric. I'd like to ask a question which is really different from the others, but we received it from one of our members. I read it. Outside the COVID crisis, Airbnb will soon be a listed company. Its growth has been remarkable, well above that of the hotel sector today. What are the hotel sector's strategies to regain market share? This is the first question. And second, is the future to work with this type of platform or find strategies to compete with them? In that case, what are these strategies? To answer to this very important question, I think, which is the future of maybe the future of the industry, I would like first Axel Hoppenot, please.
Actually, Airbnb is a true success story, and really that's something that has made the market progress overall. I would say that for us here in Monaco, Airbnb represents something like 200 flats and apartments and rooms. It takes little bites in our markets. It doesn't prevent us from growing really, because our clientele expects service in a destination where 90% of the hotel capacity is 4-star plus. So actually they open a new segment, and these segments allows also more accommodation in the times where they are very like peak season and events like the Formula One Grand Prix and such events where we are full already. So I see a benefit as well in those new players because they bring clients, and because they are not serviced in these apartments, they are going out and they come as customers as well for our restaurants, for our shows, for our spas and everything. So that's something that we need to take into consideration. So instead of competing with solutions like Marriott did, for instance, with the HostMaker, we have privileged an offering of long stay residences with service with our apartments, like the Balmoral residences of the Hermitage, the Villa, the Sporting, the Bay residences, and now obviously one Monte-Carlo. So what we do is we leverage our hotel services, or we offer first-class concierge service in our properties. Also, the type of clients that we are targeting look for more space and more service. And that's why we also changed the way our properties are organized. For instance, the new Hôtel de Paris has 60% of the inventory now composed of suites instead of 40% before. This translates also into higher average rates and profitability. So actually, since our positioning is the most exclusive resort in Europe, we are shooting for more service. We're leveraging our restaurants, nightlife, spa, shopping experience, and we believe that those new players in the industry are going to help us progress. We are not in competition with them. We use them as levers for business.
Collaborating with the high end of the market more than competing. Thank you very much, Axel. What does my friend Guy Antognelli think about what Axel just said and in general this trend?
I completely agree with Axel, telling Airbnb could be interesting when the hotel capacity is used at its maximum. In fact, we manage Airbnb not to manage, but to check how many flats are concerned. I am more about 100 than the 200 mentioned by Axel, in the way that if you look for flats on Airbnb with Monaco, they give you all what is around Monaco, saying it's Monaco. So you have many, many flats that are in fact not in Monaco, but in the neighboring cities. But especially what we have to understand is what is the experience customers will have in an Airbnb. It's a very different offer. It's not a luxurious experience. It's not about personalization. It's not about service. It could be about quality because it depends on what the guest is looking for. But at the time, it's not what the DNA of Monaco is. So it's a complementary offer. It's a complement. It's not really complementary. And the quality you have in the Airbnb is not at all comparable of what you can get from the hotel in Monaco.
Thank you very much, Guy. And last but not least, I would like to ask the same question to the specialist of luxury, Mr. Serge Ethuin.
Yeah, you will not be surprised that I will confirm what my Axel and Guy have said. I might phrase it slightly differently from a hotel perspective. We strongly believe each one has to swim in its own swim lane. So while I'm not willing to compete, I will insist on what differentiates a hotel from Airbnb. Product-wise, nowadays, not so much, because you have a lot of luxurious apartments which are now being offered and proposed on the platform. However, there is no experience. There is a product with a wonderful sea view, with a wonderful Eiffel Tower view, but we are offering the experience. We have the team members on a daily basis who are offering emotions, souvenirs to the guests. So my strategy and the strategy of the Métropole is not so much to be afraid of that. They are product driven, they are their strategy is concentrated on the product. Our strategy will always be concentrated on the experience. We try to offer the guest what he doesn't have at home. They've got guests, our guests have a lot of luxurious apartment, a lot of technology at home. Airbnb might offer that as well, but not the emotional experience which the service actually is giving to the guests. So that's fundamentally our strategy. However, as we appreciate that having more and more luxurious product as well, with our next renovation, of course, we will concentrate as well and add a few exceptional suites for long stay guests, which probably is more the core business of Airbnb as well on those luxurious apartments. So it's basically a twofold strategy, but the experience will be the focus of the hotel industry against Airbnb.
Thank you very much, Serge. And let's conclude with the last question and then around the table before going on to the interactive questions. So may I ask you this last question and then ask each one of you to respond? From what we've heard, there is a kind of mutation in the tourism market this year. What changes, what initiatives or projects that you've implemented were successful and that you plan to maintain once the crisis is over? Maybe first of all, this question to Frédéric.
But this year change in the market will link all the Congress business is going down completely. We are on the domestic market, so French market and a little bit of Europe, like Guy said it. And I think next year it may be like that also. And initiative and project, we keep the DNA of the Monte-Carlo Bay, we keep all the entertainment. As said Serge, we are the experiences in front of Airbnb, or you rent an apartment, even it's a wonderful apartment. We're in these experiences, and the Monte-Carlo, especially our property, offer this kind of experiences. So the prism has changed, and we lead to a permanent questioning of our services, protocols, and customer support. We work together, we are very close with our customer, and we try to improve all the time and to answer all the questions of our customer. And because the customer is more on the detail now, okay? You want to see everything. You want to see the chain all the time.
Thank you, sorry, Frédéric. What about you, Maurizio? What are your thoughts?
We find that regarding our sector, the smart working and the new technology, the digital technology like WhatsApp will help us in the future to following better the clients and to follow the client also during their trip, because new technology help to stay with the clients during his programs.
Thank you, Maurizio. And Guy, your thoughts?
It's a bit the same as Frédéric said. So we have to work the market in a different way. We did, but it has to be we have to be nimble, but we are used to that. The main thing, I think it's now people understand the importance of the social experience, of meeting in person. So they understand that technology is a tool. It's not the purpose of it. And the true meaning of tourism, that's discovering new culture, discovering new people, and gather with the one you love, and sharing emotions, is really at the top. And Monaco was already on this path, because we are on the way of experience. It's what Serge says. And we are the place to share experiences and emotions. So we will emphasize for the coming years this point of view.
Thank you very much, Guy. Well, I guess, Serge, you have to continue on Guy's thoughts.
Of course, I totally agree with my colleague said. Maybe because there has been a shift in the geographical market, if we like it or not, this is a fact. So clearly working more and more on the proximity market, fundamental. New partnerships, I mentioned it before, I was mentioning the private jets, but maybe as well, you know, working in close partnership with hotels of the same family, in our case, leading hotel of the world, who could help us to generate awareness for the destination in their own source market. So that's maybe an opportunity as well. And more technically, flexibility. In the next 18 months, people do not want to have hurdles like cancellation fees 14 days prior to arrival, all that stuff. We stopped that. We just stopped that. We have to be flexible. We need to create a risk-free travel experience as well for our customers. And clearly we need to partner, and I'm looking at Maurizio for that, but we need to partner, I believe, with the travel agents and with the tour operators to make sure that we offer that risk-free travel experience in order to stimulate people when travel bans will be lifted to travel again. So I think those are the main elements which I think as an industry we should look at for the near future.
Thank you, Serge. It's very true. The industry seems to be, as you just said, shifting. Axel, we would like also to hear your thoughts on this shift, but also we've heard of a new shift, a new trend with, for example, the example of MGM, who is also multiplying its revenues through online gaming. And we wondered if is this something that the SBM as well could envisage in this new shifts that we're seeing?
Yes, to start with, the key words that come to my mind when I think about the key trends currently is safer. Safer means people are more and more looking for safe place to go for vacations or for the trips. Shorter duration of stay. Obviously, people go for family stays. They stay with their families and friends, and we need to make sure that we adapt to that as well in the offerings. The closer distance, obviously, it's a 4 to 5 hours drive. That's the peak of what we've got during this period. Last minutes, so shorter lead times as well. Majority of the clients book within the last, I would say, 2 weeks, and that's really a shift, a change in the industry. And the move also towards more hybrid and digital events, that's more for the B2B, that's the key trends. So our focus currently is more on building up on attraction, on attracting more people by keeping on inventing events, creating events like, for instance, we had this event on the Casino Square with Cecilia Bartoli. That was a way to show that we're alive and we're creating events, and the destination was really alive. We'll have the Monte-Carlo Jazz Festival, which is going to be announced soon as well. This is going also to bring more life to the Principality. That's one point about attractivity. Another point about flexibility. We'll remain flexible. People want to be able, if the COVID continues or if there are such events, that they need to be able to cancel in the next 3 days, for instance. We need to be open to that. This is going to change as well the way we work on that. Then we'll work more on loyalty, because our loyal clients have proved a more powerful support during this period of time, and we've been very happy to work with them. And the last point is about security as well. Security is here to stay, and I believe that for Monaco, we need to make sure that we continue to work with these sanitary measures on top of what exists already. Currently, Monaco is safe and will remain as one of the safest spots. And now regarding the digital gaming as well, online gaming, we've been very successful this year again with our investments in BetClick, and which shows that obviously people have spent more time on the devices. We believe a lot in this, and as you've seen also at the casino with the Spinetta offering that they have now, it's possible to play remotely in the casino, within the casino, and who knows if the future allows it. We'll be open also obviously to develop that, when you could be playing from other spots in the Principality, for instance, to start with our properties. But that's also about the future, and we're building up and working on that.
Thank you very much, Axel, for these complimentary informations and this new trend that we're seeing with online gaming. Perhaps a few remarks from Her Excellency. We're very honored to have Mrs. Ambassador with us today, and perhaps after your great introduction and hearing this seminar, perhaps you would also like to have some remarks on what we've just heard.
Well, thank you very much. It was really very enlightening, and I want to thank all our panelists, and I was very happy to see you all again, even if it's virtually. I'm glad to hear that booking are even if they are on the lead time that is shorter, are on the books. That's a good news. The road to recovery is going to take time. You need to make, of course, the hotel experience safe. I wondered also how you're dealing with a new issue, which wasn't in the, thought about maybe a year ago, is how do we deal with disaster management today? How the hotel industry is doing that? How are you doing it in your own hotels, in your own things? Because this is something that was not expected, and we had to kind of, a lot of things had to be organized. So how are you going to deal with that moving forward? Certainly for high-end travelers, security and privacy is often a massive priority. Discretion, privacy, and greater security, especially. They're looking for a full region, as Serge mentioned, they're looking for an experience, full rejuvenations and relaxation, etc., and mental well-being. Regarding the US market, well, hopefully, we are hopeful that Americans will return to Europe in 2020, but there is more concern that the businesses that make European travel so special won't survive the economic fallout if tourism is remaining on hold. Not to mention the economic crisis that Americans travelers are facing at home, and this is still not completely, it's not the unknown at the moment. And of course, as you know, we have an election coming up in November. So there's a lot of changes that are going to take place in the next years, and we'll have to keep our spirit up. And like everything, when there is a challenge, there are changes and there is progress. So we have to keep focused and keep a positive attitude.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. These are words of wisdom. Now we have finished the questions of our members, but not the questions of the people who watched us today. So I will, Justin and I, we will ask the questions that have been arrived since we began this webinar. First, I'd like to ask a question to Guy Antognelli, head of the tourism board. What is the impact and what are the solutions for small hospitality businesses such as restaurants? For example, is the government thinking about consumer incentives similar to the Eat Out to Help Out program in the UK to help attract clients to restaurants this winter?
We are already aware of this particular system and of many others. So they are studied because it's a global bunch of measures that have to be put in places. So I think the government and all the professional associations are already speaking of what can be done to help all these small businesses. So it's on discussion, but I don't think the solution will come from one specific offer, but from many offers at the same time that could involve all the customers able to come in the businesses of Monaco.
Thank you, Guy. Another question that we've received during this fascinating conference is about virtual and augmented reality. We note a strong penchant for virtual and augmented reality, notably in Asia. And the question is, do you think Monaco could seize this opportunity, notably in line with the extended Monaco program that has been launched, and offer this type of tool for restaurants, hotels, and even casinos in Monaco? Perhaps this question, first of all, or maybe to Guy and then Axel.
Some experiences already occurred in Monaco. If you visited the Dali exhibition in Grimaldi Forum, you can enter a picture of Dali on virtual reality. The immersion exhibition in Oceanographic Museum at the moment is not really virtual reality, but it's on situ exhibition, but with a specific experience. So products are interesting, but they are from private initiative, and we will work with people implementing all those tools, because they are tools. The thing is the experience. What is the experience you will get? That's the main point, because if it's only seeing a video, it's thinking you have a taste of Monaco from somewhere else. It has to give you the taste of Monaco and give you the invite to come to Monaco. For small businesses, for e-shopping, many projects are on the road. I know some startup working on it, giving the possibility to a specific shop to sell to people in Asia or in New York as if they were coming to Monaco. So they are really different topics, because for tourism, you can discover the destination, but it won't fulfill the restaurant and the hotel. So it's a marketing and the promotion tool. But I think Axel has also many ideas on these concepts.
Thank you, Guy. Well, Axel, yes, please, your thoughts?
Yes, actually, we already have a virtual tour organized in our properties. We have a kind of Oculus type of a telephone that you can put in front of your eyes, and this device has been used in a number of trade shows already. It's very impressive, because the way it was built is that we had someone with cameras around his head going everywhere in the resort, so it's easy to go wherever you want and visit and turn around in the same room and visit a place. Now we also discovered that obviously this needs to be improved, not only on site, because for instance, we're talking about the Spinetta approach of the casino, for instance. This gives now the clients an opportunity to play at the same time on 3 separate games. For instance, you can play roulette while playing at the blackjack and another table, and you choose from your screen where you want to play. You are no longer yourself sitting at one table, you are everywhere, basically. So that's something that also adds a little bit more in the experience. But at the end of the day, since we talk about experience, we talk more about the human touches. So we believe that the virtual reality will help us to present the offering, but we need to improve our service on site with our guest relations, with our own staff, in order to make the experience even more enjoyable for the clients. That's part of the human side that we want to develop and differentiate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I see another question from one of our followers coming from Italy. A very interesting question. Let's say that you're speaking for SBM, of course, Axel. Did you notice any change, any problems in the reservations since the Minister of Health, the Italian Minister of Health, decided to impose tests between Italy and France? We spoke during this webinar of the fact that Italians were very good customers still there. Does this decision has impacted the number of reservations?
Well, indeed, since the Italian market is so important for our casinos, for instance, but also for hotels. But we noticed two things regarding this Italian market. Number one, during the first part of the year, they stayed more at home than we anticipated. They were really encouraged by the government to stay also in on the markets in Italy, and they were also incentivized for that. And now the second thing is that with those additional constraints, it asks us, we come with two questions here. One is about our staff, who works also between Italy and France in some cases. And for those ones, obviously, we've been able to organize a smart way to continue to work. And then for the clients, and the issue with the clients is that we saw a number of the booking drop because people they fear more that they would not be able to come back in time, and they would have the kind of a new constraints to deal with. And they fear more that than the virus itself. So that's something that we need to take into account as well.
Thank you very much, Axel. And we are speaking about inbound tourism, but when it comes to outbound tourism, Maurizio, what do you have to say about it?
Sorry, can you repeat? Sorry?
Is the decision taken by the Minister of Health of Italy?
Yeah. But we have a problem with Italy in that period because, you know, this summer we said a lot of Italy, and now so with this problem of I mean, the border is closed with these new rules. Yeah, clients are limited to go to move. And we sold in the last year, we sold also a lot of flights leaving from Milano, from Malpensa instead of Nice, because price was better, and also it was better to move by Milano. And so, and we are still problem even for this.
Okay, understood. Justin, do you have any other questions from the public, from the audience?
Absolutely. Perhaps this question is very interesting for the travelers arriving in Monaco during the crisis and since the end of the confinement. How do they compare to the travelers before the crisis? Do they have different spending habits? Ultimately, can you point out to something unique about the new travelers and new tourists coming to Monaco recently? Perhaps I will ask this question first of all to Serge and then maybe Frédéric.
Sorry, thank you, Justin. Yes, of course, different habits, but I think we force them as well to have different habits, in the sense that if you take the Métropole, for example, which is offering a lot of Michelin stars restaurant, not all of them have reopened since, of course, we reopened the hotel. So we are basically streamlining a little bit our customers into our operating outlets, of course, and the habits have changed because the original, the geographical origin of business has changed as well. You have a certain spending habit for American customers, but we don't have American customers currently. We have French and Italians mainly. So clearly, for example, as far as buying bedrooms is concerned, we observe that the French citizens and Italian customer tend to buy entry-level products, but much less luxurious suite product, like maybe the American would do or the Russian market would do. So that is possibly the most important change before and after COVID for us as Hôtel.
Very interesting, lots of changes. Frédéric, your thoughts equally?
Justin, it's exactly the same that we spoke with Serge. We are the same way in the Monte-Carlo Bay. Okay, a bit, we can compare. It's exactly the same for the Monte-Carlo Bay. Exactly the same.
Maybe Axel on the Société de Bains de Mer.
Yes, I would say that people have probably spend less in a way because it's a French market compared to the Russians, to the Middle East market and the American markets, for instance. Those clients that we saw in the past were also booking suites with an average room rate that was also helping us to with the results. The duration of stay was not the same. We're talking about stays of up to 2 weeks, for instance, instead of less than 3 days, up to 5 days in the summer for the French clientele, for instance. Also, we noticed a number of kids. It's families with kids. And also this has an influence on the way we manage the various segments of clients in the properties. When you have 100 kids running everywhere, at the same time you have 65% of couples who want more well, kind of different experience, we need to organize the flows in a very different way. So all that made us think of new ways of working in the future. But also in terms of trends, we noticed that people expect also the process flows to be reorganized. For instance, the check-in of the clients is organized before they arrive. So when they arrive, they can go to their rooms directly without spending time at the reception desk. And we had to reinvent the way we work. We had to reinvent also the way that people spend, because when they spend in a restaurant, for instance, now they use the flash code, the QR code, in order to see the menu and in order to book. It changes a number of things as well. And so all this is going to be interesting for us because we observe new patterns, new ways of spending, and we need to organize our offering accordingly as well. It's very rich in terms of experience as well.
Thank you, Axel.
Justin, excuse me. May I just some words?
Maurizio, of course.
Yeah, from we make some studies about 2021, and we will find that our clients will spend really much more next years, you know, for traveling, because they don't use their budget for this year. And so even when the tourism will start again for crisis, it will be much better, and everything will go very fast to book. So we expect really better sell.
Thank you very much, Maurizio, for this important precision, and we all cross our fingers. Mm-hmm. But tourism, it's not only hotels, of course, it's one of the major sectors for jobs, providing jobs, and as the same as Boeing and Airbus have got a lot of people work for them, but also a lot of people work on different levels for these companies. We have, with the hotels, we have, for example, the destination management companies. And we just received the last question before concluding, which is dedicated to how is going to be the collaboration with DMCs, with destination management company, knowing that everything that looks or far or close to events and gatherings are so prohibited, and we don't know when it's going to end. So what is your strategy when it comes to collaborating with DMCs? Maybe Frédéric?
A strategy that is also with the commercial with Alice and Axel. We work on that, but they have to put in place with DMC. We can leave the DMC on the far away. Okay, we have to work together, and how we can impose the business market. And we work already together, but it's very hard for us, very hard for them also. And there may be more impact that we can have us.
Thank you very much, Frédéric. Guy, do you have something to say about DMCs?
Yeah, because we were speaking about experiences. DMCs are one of the people building the experiences for our visitors. So it's essential. They are still there with us at when customers are coming back, because they are part of the DNA of the destination. Because you have the hotel, but people are going also out of the hotel. They are visiting. They are having driving experiences. They want to feel what Monaco is and what the of Monaco are. So the DMCs are the one providing the service, the experience, and they have the imagination of the new product out of the hotel. Because when you are a customer, you choose a destination, you choose an hotel, you choose experiences. So it's essential they are there to build part of the product.
Thank you very much, Guy. I think that it will be wise to let the final words before concluding to Her Excellency, the Ambassador. Maggie, do you have something to say, the last word?
Well, no, first I want to say that unfortunately hotels face the prospect of a long recovery. You have a lot to deal with. You first have to care for your employees. I know that this subject hasn't been covered, but you know, you have to keep them engaged. You have to keep them safe. You have to motivate them, especially those that are not really maybe coming back when they are coming back full time. You also have to manage your customers, their expectations. You have to recognize that these will continue to evolve. You have to prepare to act with great agility to address health and safety concern, and revise your commercial strategy for this for the restart with an eye on towards the next normal, which we do not know yet what it would be. You know, it keeps changing constantly. So I am sure that, as I mentioned earlier, that with all those changes are very positive. They're going to make us think forward. They're going to bring progress, and we will survive. We will come out of it, and it will be, you know, I'm looking forward to maybe in 2021 is going to be a difficult year, but hopefully by 2022, everything should be back to normal. That's my wish.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I think that everybody expects 2022 to be the year of recovery, but maybe 2021 could be not so bad. We just expect that. I want to thank you on that optimistic note, and thank you to our experts who have been absolutely astonishing. Thank you for giving us this quality of webinar, and I wish to say that we have the next one. It will be in French, but it will be on the 4th of November, the next webinar dedicated to the yachting world, which is also a world that has been extremely impacted by the COVID crisis. Thank you very much to all. I hope to see you soon, and please keep well, keep fighting, because we still have to fight, I think, against COVID, and we have to fight against that crisis. But I think that in Monaco, we are very well armed for that. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.